but serious ones that have come from zillions of hours of professionals sitting with the public, being in service to them. There are more, which I would recommend that our listeners, especially if they're working with an advisor, have this conversation with their advisor about, or doing it on their own, they don't need an advisor for this, is to have an assessment done. And there are a number of them that are out there, and you can Google them and have fun doing multiple ones, unless you're a phobic, and then you will totally ignore this suggestion. But if you're one of the other types, the one that has real stability for a number of decades now and lots of experience with certified financial planners is a group called Financial DNA. And the research was started several decades ago by a gentleman named Hugh, H-U-G-H, Macy. And Hugh Macy engaged several universities and to work with him on doing assessment tools to determine what is a person's relationship with money. Now, it's not as, let us say, lightweight as the 8 that I just shared with you. And you actually, there's no guessing which one you are. And I think most people that I have shared the 8 with always find that they're more than one. One will be dominant, but they might be independent, but there's a little bit of family and a little bit of phobic in them or whatever. But the financial DNA is done with an assessment that you can do online. And I have found it to be incredibly deep and incredibly accurate. And it's not guessing, oh, are you this or that? No, bam, this is you. And you go, whoa. I'd love to tell you a story about a couple that go out to Mile High Church and out in Lakewood, Colorado. And I was standing in the lobby after a service, and this couple had been in during the week. And each year I would do something to add to the educational piece for my clients, and I'd carry that theme for a whole year. We were in the year where I sent them the link to the assessment. And so when they came in, what our time was spent on was reviewing the assessment, especially if it's a couple, because you have 3 personality types then. You have the first person, the second person, and the weeness of that couple. So they came in for their annual review, and I reviewed their financial DNA. And I found it fascinating because they were opposite end of the poles. They were as far apart as you can imagine. And so I talked to them about how together then they made the perfect relationship with money. It was like the perfect person, if you will, because one person's strengths were supported by the other person, or one person's weakness was supported by the other person's strength, and vice versa. So when they came together, each with their unique focus and strengths, then together as a team, they had it made. Well, that was pretty much the message, right?
Yes.
And then here comes Sunday, and we're after service, and they walked up to me, and they said, "We want to thank you for saving our marriage." And now you're surrounded by hundreds of people in the lobby of this church, and it's real noisy, and I go, I never talk business at church, so it was just like, okay. And one of the guys stepped into my 3 feet of space and said, like nose to nose, she goes, "No, you don't get it. you saved our marriage. Now, she had my total attention. And she shared that what they had come in for, unbeknownst to me, because we never got to their agenda, or we actually got to it very much so, but their agenda was to have me help them figure out how to divide up everything they owned, because they had decided to split.
Wow.
And at the end of the session, and decide to split over money issues, their dramatic differences. And I gave them a whole new way of looking at their relationship and at each other. And she shared with me, they went home after that appointment and they sat down and they made a list of how together they were really cool and how they balanced each other, and made a commitment that they would stop making each other wrong for who they are around money. And I think, Reverend Paulette, that is the bottom line message of this session with you today. All of these types are perfectly okay. We are perfect the way we are. And there's positives and shadow sides to everything in life. It is perfect the way we are dealing. We are playing with the hand we're dealt. But to know what that hand is, that's the power, and that's our message for today.
Thank you